Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers, distinguished committee of ICONPEORI 2025. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, praise to Allah for His blessings that we can be here in this room in healthy condition. Salawat and salam we praise to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to International Conference on Petroleum and Essential Oil Research and Innovation with this year's themes, Empowering Communities Through Sustainable Petroleum Farming, Science, Technology, and Cultural Heritage. My name is Mutia Faradila, and I'll be your moderator for the next 1.5 hours. Today's seminar session is on historical aspect of petroleum and its business. Okay, now, before we start, let me quickly go over today's agenda. We'll begin with a brief introduction of our guests, followed by their presentations. And then after all keynote speakers present their topics, we will hold quick question and answer sessions. Now for the first, I will call our keynote speakers today. Please welcome Professor Cut Dewi from Universitas Yah Kuala. You can come in to the front. And then present in this room also Mr. Johari Sitorus from International Labour Organizations. Please welcome, Pak. And with us today from Zoom in France, there's Guillaume Jest. Hello, Guillaume. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Sir. Thank you for joining with us today from France. And so the session will be first started with the presentation from Professor Cut Dewi, and I will introduce Professor Cut Dewi as keynote speakers for today. Professor Cut Dewi is a head of the Research and Innovation Center, and she is a professor at the Department of Architecture and Planning, Universitas Yah Kuala. She also serves as a senior researcher at the Atsiri Research Center, PUI-PT, Universitas Yah Kuala. And she's been working in the field of critical heritage studies, and she is here today to share her expertise with topic architecture and essential oils, from distillation to architectural heritage conservation. So please, Professor Cut Dewi, to deliver. Yes. You can over there, I guess, yeah, so you can see the slides.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Praise to Allah. Only because of Allah we can gather here in this room to celebrate the third ICONPEORI conference. Okay, without further ado, because we have very limited time, I thank ICONPEORI for inviting, for having me as a keynote. Today, probably I'm bringing something you're not used to see this kind of discussion, because normally you know of petroleum with perfumes, cleaning agents, and things like that. Today, you will see something use of other essential oils in building conservation. As mentioned by the moderator, I come from architecture and planning background, so you will hear something different than you hear normally. Okay, next. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the origin of petroleum is believed come from Southeast Asia. Some sources say Indonesia, some sources say Philippines, some sources say even China and India. So there's still a lot of work looking on the history of this kind of plantation, because some argue that this petroleum comes from Tamil language, Pachai and Elai. Next. And then in China, that found around 5th century codification, and then moved to next. Yeah, and then first described in the West around 1837, and next with the very simple distillation start from homes, So, and then move to more sophisticated. Next, I think. Yeah. So from like clay pot, steel, basic head source, and then come to complex distillation, produce multiple products using specialized tools, and then heating methods that I think all this beautiful oil comes from, including patchouli and other essential oils. Next. So this is like the ancient distillation that I found in the manuscript, in the archive. Next. So we need to be also very proud because it's some Islamic innovation around 9th century by Al-Razi, are known as Jabar Ibn Hayyan or Geber in Europe. The concept of elixir for perfume. Without him, probably we won't have the perfume technology that we do have today. Next. And then during European Renaissance, the distillation became more complex. Next. And during the Dutch, they also brought along the distillation, not only Nilam, I mean the patchouli oil, but also the distillation industry and technology. I couldn't find any archive for patchouli distillation. I only found this archive, these images from the Dutch colonization in Batavia around 1948. Okay, next. So you can see in the colonial trade and expansion, essential oil become one of the important products, including patchouli oil or nilam, that very well known in Aceh now, but actually it was so famous in the past. Next. So essential oil production during colonial era used for the economic agendas and then the political agendas, and then there was exploration and uneven distribution benefits. That's why now ARC, with our aims and our motto, we need to bring patchouli equal for everyone. That's why like we work with ILO and other organizations to make all distribution equal, not like in the past when patchouli oil was so well known in Aceh and around the world. It was uneven. Only the colonizer who had the benefit of that, but the farmer didn't have anything for them. But now we want all equal. Next. So this I try to make some connection of the patchouli oil in the past and probably still retain until now. Singapore, Jakarta, and Aceh. Next. So during the colonization, like probably if you often listen to our boss, Pak Saifullah presentation, there was Lambo Maskapi, there was Netherlands in this Lambo Maskapi, or known as Nilam, as the company introduced Nilam in Indonesia, especially in Aceh. Next. So this like one of the documentation of that story. Next. So why the plants is easily grow here? Of course, because of quickly adapts to agro-climatic environment in Sumatra, especially Aceh, North Sumatra, and West Sumatra at that time. And then around 1970s, Indonesia became the world's leading exporter of patchouli oil. Next. And in Aceh itself, looking for the perspective of heritage, Aceh patchouli is intertwined with local customs, social network, and identity, especially in the rural area where patchouli oil was so famous. Next. So we probably for of those who work in Nilam or patchouli, you know, like some varieties like Tapak Tuan, Lok Sumawe, and Sinabang all comes from Acehese words. Next. So in Aceh, while that's gone, from my research, this is from my literature review, that in 90s, production fell around 70% due to armed conflict. So armed conflict also contribute to declining of patchouli in Aceh. And then many farmers switched to other commodities and were more profitable because the trend at that time, like the patchouli was gone and replaced by other plantation. And then the global market also declined and almost gone at that time. Next. So Looking at the infrastructure and the city planning, all the plantation, including Pacolli Oil, has contributed to designing colonial cities, including Bandung, for example. Next. So you can, if you go to Bandung, you can see the city of plantation there, where the plantation inspired designing the city. Next. So one of the examples close to us is like Afros building in Medan. That's also a product of how plantation contribute to this architecture and city planning. Next. This is one of the building of Afros in Medan from archive. Next. This colonial plantation in Takengon. I couldn't find the specific on Pacolli plantation, but this is how the plantation and architecture also interact in the past. Next. So now, as the growing concern on climate change, sustainable development, essential oils become one of a source for sustainable heritage conservation. Next. You can see why that's very famous, because this natural alternative to chemical biocides with antiseptic, antibacterial, and antifungal properties inside the essential oil. So since antiquity, you can see later on in my presentation that people already use the Pacolli oil or other essential oils for preservative, especially in heritage. What I mean heritage, not only building, but manuscript, books, textile, and others. So, and then we can see also what organic and organic material already applied in using this essential oil. Next. So that's a growing industry now, yeah. So based on this literature, why that's very common, because that antimicrobial protection and broad application, and then eco-friendly alternative, and started to be tested in building conservation in 1970s, and advanced application and growing demand of this kind of essence and in the building conservation. Next. In traditional tropical heritage conservation, you know, like because the climate, tropical climate that has a lot of fungal, things like that inside the wood especially, so applying like red dye, turmeric, yellow dye, turmeric become part of like our ancestor tradition. And then neem wood also used for self, and then some building material as well, because like it's resistant to some fungal and some other bacteria that might destroy the wood. And then dried neems, leaf, clove, and peppercorn also placed between the pages of the manuscript to keep preserving that. And then next, yeah. And then so it's very also popular in Tamil Nadu in using palm leaf manuscript conservation. Next, that's also in Sri Lanka. Next slide. Yeah, in Sri Lanka, palm leaf manuscript preservation also use the same tradition. Okay, next. So, shortly, the history of essential use in preservation. More emphasis in the past on manuscript, artwork, and cultural heritage object, and now extending into building material. So the antiquity now like rebirth in modern need of sustainable development and sustainable materials and preservative products for building conservation. Next, probably next. Yeah, so you can see there's the growing number of research on how like essential oils used in conserving buildings. You can see from 2017, and now it's still climbing. That's why like, I persuade my boss, Pak Saifullah, okay, let's also look on this growing trend as well, looking at how Nilam and other essential oils might benefit building conservation. Because in my field, there is a big homework for us. I mean, until now, we cannot find any preservative material for wood, especially, that do not contain any chemicals. Because, and also cheap, of course, and that's also safe to be applied in the wood. and the building conservation. Okay, next. You can see Italy is the leading sector now, and then followed by Egypt, and then Romania in leading this kind of research recently. Next. And then we can see in the next slide the use of essential oils. Yeah. So we can see for biocides, archive, and then stone preservation. That's also very popular amongst the use of essential oils in building conservation that I have mentioned that started like rebirth in 1970s. So it was there before, but normally for artwork, manuscript, and fabrics. But now the technology extend to building conservation. Okay, next. Okay, these some essential oils that are commonly used in preserving building, like Thymus vulgaris or thyme oil, and then cinnamon, clove, lemongrass. I think we do have a lot of lemongrass, yeah, Pak Ketua, yeah, here. So that's also a potential for using that in building conservation. I read about patchouli some, but probably I need your feedback as well. For patchouli, there was no specific successful test for building conservation. So there is still, big gap in using especially patchouli oil. Another day I talked to, I think, other researchers at our research center that probably the waste of patchouli leaf or trees or waste of distillation of patchouli, we can also reuse or try to formulate to new technology and we use for building conservation. Okay, next. So in conclusion, we see there is a current trend on using more natural and organic essence and materials and products for building conservation. That's why this is also opportunity for our, especially our beloved research center, ARC, to look on this as well. And we also can promote this for preserving, especially Rumah Aceh, that gradually gone by the time and by climate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Chutdewi, for the very interesting presentation, because that's, I think, a new information for all of us that essential oil can be used in preserving our buildings, right? Okay, now let's move to our next speaker. That will be Mr. Guillaume Jess from France. Mr. Guillaume Jess has been a CFO for 30 years. His interest is profit for purpose and inclusive business to end poverty, and they're here today to share their expertise with us. Mr. Guillaume, are you with us? Are you joining us right now?
Thank you very much.
Okay,
yes.
Please
Yes. Can you hear me?
Proceed with your presentation for 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you very much. So thank you very much to welcome me. It's a great pleasure for me to join this conference. It's a great pleasure and an honor. So very quickly introduce myself. I've been working, as I said, for the last 30 years, always in the corporate world, in companies such as Nestle, and always in finance. I've been working mainly in Asia, China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. And in Indonesia, this is where I met my wife, Kandatanti Suboto. So I came to Aceh in 2007, 2 years after the tsunami. And I had the opportunity to work together with NGO, FBA, Forum Bangun Aceh. And what I did then was to help this NGO to become more sustainable. Because what we see, everyone talks about sustainability. But one of the points of sustainability is profit. Any organization which is not profitable is not sustainable. So that's a very important point that I brought to this organization. And now I've been working with ARC and Saifullah and the team since more than 1 year. And my involvement was to support, give ideas, give opinion in order to help this patchouli business that we are talking about to keep growing. So I was very pleased to join this, this patchouli business venture, because it has been extremely successful. And I saw that the impact on the community has been very positive. So one of the key lessons I would like to give you today, one of the key points that we have to learn whenever we do any kind of venture is that this venture is successful once we have a coalition of talent. Those talent could come from university, could come from industry, could come from research, community development, and of course, business. And each of these community, each of those talent have to listen to each other and have to understand is that what is a common goal. So what I saw here, what I saw in Aceh, what I saw through ARC, I saw great talent that were able to achieve what Pai Saifullah said. Basically, in less than 10 years, they've built a fantastic venture in patchouli oil. So what I bring and what the people from the business life, like myself, can bring and are bringing in this coalition of talent is an approach in terms of measuring the value chain, measuring the finance, giving tools that are necessary for those organizations, for any organization, to strive and to be sustainable. What we are doing now, for example, as an example of this coalition of talent, is that we have decided all together to better understand all the data, all the economics around the patchouli. We know the patchouli, the impact, great impact for the community. It helps to empower the community, to give more opportunities to people, to women. There is a cultural aspect that has been mentioned. But what is important as well is to understand, and this is where the finance part comes in, what are the economics behind? How much we sell? What is the quantity? What is the price? To whom? With these pieces of information, we will be able to better understand what is a value chain. I think that this word was mentioned by Ibrahim. And based on that, to see where we should focus our effort in the future, in order to ensure that most of the profit generated by this activity remains in Aceh for the community. What is important in this coalition of talent is to understand what each other bring to each other. For example, for me, it's very clear that what I can bring as a member of the business community, what I can bring is techniques in finance, in aspects like business plan. So I bring you tools that will allow you to be more sustainable. At the same time, I say you, it's IC, it is a community of Aceh, it is all the people who are working that I've met in the patchouli business. What are they bringing to people in the businesses? Of course, you bring supply, and that's important. Good supply with a good price and good quality. But not only that, what you bring to people is very happy to buy the patchouli at a good quality and good price. But what he will buy as well is having a sense of participating, of belong to what you do in Aceh, what ISA is doing. This will not decide whether the buyer will buy or not. The buyer will use only the market forces, which is price and quantity. But the buyer in this purchase decision, this buyer could be in Indonesia, but most probably overseas, will take into account what you are doing, because this will give him a sense, once again, of purpose. And the problem of business life, where I come from, is that you see a lot of executives like myself, key players, C-suite, whatever, who have missed this sense of purpose. Because the only thing they're working for is the P&L, the balance sheet, the profit, and the money they make at the end of the month. I don't say it's not important, but that's not enough. So by building a coalition together, that's really a way to ensure that we learn from each other, we benefit from each other, we know what we need to do in order to be more sustainable. I would like to conclude in saying one thing which is, I think, is most important in the way I work with ARC as a finance person coming from corporate. I see two things that are important. The first thing is that I'm really impressed by the way the community in Aceh, all the players, all the very successful players, because what you've done is a great success, are willing to learn from others. And I wanted to quote the Holy Quran. You know, the two first chapters of Holy Quran are read and learn. And I see that the community in Aceh really embrace this willingness to learn. And that's a key strength, because surprisingly, this ability to learn, this humility to recognize that you need help, is not as spread as you may believe. So that's the first thing I see. And the second thing I think, which is a great strength in Aceh, in RSC, and what you've done in the petroleum business, is that there is a strong sense of execution. There is discussion, there is shared knowledge, but once a decision is taken, even sometimes it takes time, but there is a sense of execution. As an example, what is done now in order to be able to collect the data, the economic data of the petroleum business, this project that has just been launched, for me, I'm impressed how quickly the team has put together a plan. I'm impressed by the objective that have been set, and having a coalition of partners, of course, with businesses, but it could be with other business, of course, with other partners. We've got persons from ILO, we've got academics. With that, we will be able to achieve that. So your sense of execution, your willingness to listen makes you very strong in the eyes of someone coming from the business community. The other thing is that what you have developed, your purpose, is something that attracts people in the business community, because you give a bigger dimension of our work. And finally, the product that you have developed, the perfume, the essential oil, are a product of the future. Because to the point that we made before, we'll need essential oil more and more, and the market is going to be disrupted by global warming. Essential oil is produced in some part of the world. The one who will survive are the one, like in Aceh, who anticipate the global warming, who ensure that they put the investment, the training, the logistic in order to address those issues. So those strengths will allow you to grow, and I'm confident and happy that this coalition partner will grow. I'm very proud to be part of it. And I know that it is just, I think, the first step of a cooperation, of this coalition of talent in order to help the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Giom, for the delivering of your presentations. And I think Mr. Giom was talking a lot about what ARC can do in terms of building a more inclusive and purposive business entitled. Okay, now we will move to our last keynote speakers. I will introduce Mr. Jauhari Sitorus, a representative from International Labour Organization in Indonesia. Mr. Jauhari is a project manager of Promise to Impact from International Labour Organization. He's been working in the field of financial sector development with working experience in financial stability, financial deepening and inclusion, and their interconnectedness with poverty reduction and economic growth. And Mr. Jauhari will present a topic with title Promoting Small and Medium Enterprises Through Improved Entrepreneurs' Access to Financial Service Phase 2. Mr. Jauhari, please.
Thank you. shall I stand up or I can just?
You can choose either way.
Maybe I just sit down here.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Right. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Yang saya hormati Pak Saifullah Muhammad, my bestie, and all colleagues from Atsiri Research Center at University of Shah Kuala, the moderator, my fellow speakers, distinguished guests and participants. First of all, on behalf of the ILO office in Jakarta, I would like to extend our appreciation and thank you to the IRC and University of Shah Kuala for inviting us to participate in this very important conference. I also like to convey the warmest greetings from Ibu Simrin Singh, our country director, who is unfortunately cannot be with us today because of prior commitment that she made before she received the invitation from IRC. So maybe next time she would be able to join us in the next occasion. It is truly an honor and privilege for me to be here today to discuss and share information about pocholi farming, and especially from the lens of promoting sustainability of pocholi farming in Aceh. Because for us, pocholi is not about a plant or an oil, but it's about the very soul of Aceh. Pocholi is the soul of Aceh. That's our understanding of this importance of pocholi for people of Aceh. For generations, this fragrant leaf has been a source of livelihood and pride for the people and communities in Aceh. Indeed, Aceh pocholi oil is globally renowned for its superiority quality. This is a testament to the dedication of pocholi farmers in Aceh, but also the fact that Aceh has a very rich soil that suits pocholi plantation. Today, I would like to share how we at the ILO are contributing to the effort to create not only entrepreneurship skills among local farmers, but also to create more sustainable pocholi farming, particularly through the use of digital technology and empowering smallholders pocholi farmers. We've been working with the IRC at the University of Shah Kuala since toward the end of 2023, so it's almost 2 years now. And it has been a very wonderful and rewarding partnership. So thank you, Pak Saifullah Muhammad and the team at IRC. Really appreciate the collaboration that we have had so far. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, despite its high value at the international market, the pocholi value chain still has faced significant challenges. Traditional farming methods, vulnerability to pests, and lack of access to information have often led to market imperfection, resulting in low yield and unstable price that prevent our farmers, our pocholi farmers, from reaping the full benefit of their hard works. The path forward is not about growing more pocholi, it's about growing pocholi smarter. Together, it's about cultivating a sustainable future for pocholi farmer in Aceh. So in our view, sustainable pocholi farming should focus on 3 pillars, and one already mentioned by Jom previously. The first one is about environment stewardship. So sustainability is about environment stewardship. This involves practices that protect natural resources. I'm sure you all know about what do I mean by this. Just to give you examples, for instance, reducing reliance on synthetic pesticides, fertilizers, enhancing soil health through a number of techniques, conserving water, and the use of efficient irrigation system, just to name a few. The second pillar of sustainability in pocholi farming is about economic viability. And this is exactly the comment from previous speaker, that sustainable farming must be profitable for farmers. So that is very important. That's part of sustainability. It encourages practices that increase efficiency, reducing waste, and generate new revenue streams, such as, for instance, agroforestry, and the production of renewable energy. The third one, the last, under the sustainability pillar is social equity, and this is ILO has a special intention and focus on this. This pillar addresses the well-being of farmers and their communities. It promotes fair labor practice, safe working conditions, strong rural economies, and the ability to generate fair income for the local farmers in Aceh. The core of this vision lies on empowerment of our Pacholi farmers and their communities. Empowerment is not about handout. It's building capacity. It's about providing the tools, the knowledge, the system that will allow farmers to take action to determine the future of their economic livelihood. For Pacholi farmers in Aceh, this means moving beyond traditional method and embracing innovation. Ladies, gentlemen, colleagues, and friends, now we live in the era of digital. And this is where innovation and data comes together. So in this context, we at the ILO, we have started developing a platform, a digital platform that we use, that we call it Enterprise Resource Planning, that is tailored for Pacholi farmers. It's actually launched at this very building last year in October 2024, almost a year ago, and now it's already operational. So the benefit of having ERP for sustainable Pacholi practices is one for optimizing resources use. The ERP solution can track and analyze data from various equipment such as sensors, drones, GPS guided equipment, and so on. It can also measure precise amount of water, fertilizer, pesticides, but also improving efficiency and productivity, enhancing traceability and compliance, because we all know some customers in some jurisdictions are now very strict. Then they want to know who is actually the farmers, where are they located, are they involving in some deforestation activities or not, especially with the coming EUDR that's coming next year. I think the level of requirement has been stricter, and that actually require from the ability to do some kind of traceability. And ERP actually has that ability to provide sustainability. The last one, but not least, which is close to our project, is about unlocking access to financing. The far too long smallholders farmers has been included from formal financial system because they do not have collateral. However, with digital data-driven approach such as ERP, farmers can have what we call a digital collateral. It's the ability for financial institutions to get information about specific revenue stream of the farmers, which could be used as a basis for extending credits. So now let me turn to the slides. This is the project that we are currently implementing with the government Indonesia, in this case the Otoritas Jasa Keuangan and the Coordinating Ministry of Economic Affairs, and IRC is a partner of this. This project, next slide please. This project is about access to finance for improving productivity, creating jobs, and economic growth. Can I have the next slide? Next, please. Yes. So So the activities that we are doing in this project, the first one, as I mentioned earlier, we actually digitalizing a value chain ecosystem. We currently have three locations or three commodities. The first one is dairy cattle, fresh milk in West Java. The second one is seaweed in Nusa Tenggara Timur, East Nusa Tenggara. The third one is Pacholi in Aceh. But also we empower smallholders farmers. We provide training. We provide training on financial education, how to manage personal finance, how to make financial record, a simple financial record for families, how to generate business ideas, entrepreneurship. But we're also working with banks, particularly small banks like BPR, rural banks. We provide training for them, how they would be able to appraise microcredits, how they can start entering digital transformation journey, because we're also providing support in the form of core banking, loan original system, desk monitoring. This can be quite technical in the banking sector. And last but not least, we're also facilitating study, policy dialogue, policy discussion. So we hope through this project, we can work together to revive pacoli industry, pacoli farming in Aceh. So before I close my presentation, I have a short footage that I would like to show, but before that, I would like to also encourage all of us here. I'm very excited to see many young researchers present here to explore how our ERP, by the way, we call it MyNilam. So obviously, by the name, you can tell it's about Nilam, because the name of the ERP is MyNilam. How we could enhance the ERP, and maybe we could do some interesting applied research, commercial-oriented research on pacoli based on the data generated through the ERP. So if any of you has idea, you can reach me or my other colleagues who are also present here, Pak Thomas Sugiono in the middle, and also Pak Yanis sitting on my right. Please approach them. And finally, let's hope that we can work together to pave the way for sustainable pacoli farming in Aceh in the future. A future built on pillars of community, data, and technology. I would like to close with showing the footage. Please, Pak Yanis, if that's possible. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
MyNilam adalah sebuah sistem ERP berbasis web yang dirancang khusus untuk mendigitalisasi ekosistem rantai nilai minyak nilam di Aceh. Dengan MyNilam, petani dapat lebih mudah mengakses pembiayaan sehingga meningkatkan produktivitas mereka. Sistem ini juga membantu PT Ugreen selaku off-taker dalam merencanakan produksi, mengelola inventory, serta memonitor penjualan secara lebih efisien dan tepat waktu. Dengan teknologi ini, ekosistem minyak nilam di Aceh diharapkan tumbuh lebih kuat dan terhubung, mendukung kesejahteraan petani dan keberlanjutan bisnis. Pengelolaan data dan aplikasi memastikan pengendalian hak akses dan pengambilan informasi yang efektif, mencakup profil petani dan lokasi lahan, serta informasi terkait produksi dan penanaman nilam. Sistem ini mendukung petani dengan memberikan gambaran komprehensif yang memudahkan akses terhadap sumber daya dan pembiayaan. Fitur poligonisasi juga memetakan lahan petani untuk memastikan budidaya nilam tidak merambah hutan lindung dan mencegah deforestasi. MyNilam dilengkapi dengan fitur penelusuran atau traceability yang memungkinkan setiap tahap dalam rantai pasok minyak nilam dapat dilacak hingga ke level petani. Dengan sistem ini, pihak di tahapan berikutnya dapat memastikan asal-usul dan kualitas produksi minyak nilam secara transparan. Fitur traceability dalam MyNilam menggunakan QR Code untuk melacak minyak nilam dari level petani hingga agen, koperasi, dan PT Ugreen, memastikan transparansi asal-usul dan kualitas produk. Dengan sistem ini, pihak di setiap tahapan dapat memastikan keaslian produk, sementara petani juga dapat menelusuri minyak nilamnya hingga ke tujuan akhir. Ini menciptakan kepercayaan dan akuntabilitas di seluruh rantai pasok. Fitur dashboard pada MyNilam bagi PT Ugreen sangatlah penting untuk memantau setiap tahap rantai nilai, dari aktivitas tanam dan produksi petani hingga proses distilasi dengan mempertimbangkan sebaran geografi per kabupaten di Aceh, demi memastikan kualitas dan hasil maksimal untuk kesejahteraan petani. Selain itu, dashboard ini juga memungkinkan evaluasi biaya produksi dan hasil penjualan, sehingga PT Ugreen dapat melakukan langkah perbaikan agar produksi tetap berada di jalur yang tepat. Dengan fitur ini, PT Ugreen dapat mendeteksi masalah dan menganalisis variabel yang menyebabkan kendala atau kegagalan dalam proses produksi. Dengan digitalisasi ekosistem rantai nilai minyak nilam di Aceh melalui sistem ERP, diharapkan semua pihak dapat tumbuh lebih kuat dan terhubung. Inisiatif ini akan mendukung kesejahteraan petani serta memastikan keberlanjutan bisnis secara keseluruhan. Bersama-sama, kita membangun masa depan yang lebih cerah dan berkelanjutan untuk industri minyak nilam Aceh.
Before I open the Q&A session, I will summarize a little bit about what have been talked by our keynote speakers. First, from Professor Chut Dewi, she emphasized on the use of essential oils to preserve buildings, especially in colonized country. And then from Mr. Giom Jest, he emphasized on building sustainable business, and from Pak Jauhari also emphasize on building sustainable business in the terms of building capacity. I emphasize on this building capacity, not just giving hand out, Pak Jauhari. Yeah? Okay, so I will open a Q&A session. Is there any from the participants here who wants to ask? Okay, Miss, please. Panitia committee, can you provide the mic? Miss, please mention your name and from what department in USK or outside, from what institution, and then to whom you will want to ask the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. And before that, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mutiara Kiazara, and I'm part of the student of University of Sheikh Kuala. And I'm part of engineering, industrial engineering, sorry, my bad. From this perspective of student, as you guys know, since we are still in a learning process, what kind of roles that we can play both during the study or after our graduate can we do to help and do something in this industry, not only in academic way. As we know, Mr. Jats said that in the future, what should we do? So in the perspective of student, what should we do? Maybe that's the only question that I want to ask. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, I think we can answer this question because if we collect it, I might forget or some of the speakers might forget. So you want to ask to Mr. Jess, right? Yeah, okay. Mr. Giom Jess?
Yeah,
Are you there?
I'm listening. I think, thank you.
Yeah, the question from Mutiara is, as a student and future graduate, what can they do to help in building sustainable business or in helping the farmers?
Okay, so first of all, that's a very good question. And I would say there are two things that you have to do in order to help the community. The first one as a student is to learn how to learn, to keep the passion to learn. Because you do have to realize that university is not the only place where you learn, and with all of us, whatever age, work, role, we must keep learning. So if you want to be part of the community, if you want to support the community, whatever the community is, keep learning. Second thing, in a practical way. So I heard that you are in chemical engineering. So my piece of advice there, on top of your hard work, would be to participate to work with the community. It could be to participate to harvest the battery, to participate for the distillation. Maybe having a job which is what we call manual. But doing those work, you will be able to connect with people. So what is very important is for you, if you want to help, if you want to be part of the community, is to know your community. And the best way to know your community is to work with the people, with all of them. So I would encourage you to to participate to tasks done in this process, especially when you have already a skill, and that will allow you to connect with people. And the last thing which is important is that people you're going to work with, will see you differently. Today, they see you as a young lady, a student. Once you start working with the community, doing work with them, they will see you as part of their community. And that's the way for you to build the empathy, the understanding that is needed for your work. Thank you. Did I answer your question?
I think, yes, your answer is already meets what Mutiara wants. Okay, maybe Mutiara, I can ask Mr. Johari also, yeah, for your question. Mr. Johari, what are your opinion about that?
Thank you, Mutiara, was it? I think that's a brilliant question. I think from our perspective, there are a couple of things that the students could contribute to our project. Obviously, we're always looking for potential local trainers to help small farmers educate, to educate them on financial literacy. Obviously, we will provide the training of trainers. So we provide the tools, the knowledge for you and your colleagues to enable you guys to basically deliver the training. But also on the ERP also. The ERP now that we are currently have is still a baby. It's not fully utilized yet, because onboarding farmers into the platform requires also education. It's not easy to plug in the numbers. Can you imagine farmers who don't have, a good education like most of you here, like all of us here, and they should be able to input data. Typically, we rely on field assistance. So perhaps helping them on a part-time basis, an internship scheme, that's something that we could also consider going forward. Just give you an example. But obviously, there are many other opportunities that we would like. If you would like to discuss, you can approach us after this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johari. I have a question, Professor Joddewi. So, actually, in the terms of colonialization, the colonials came here and bring their needs, and they want to extract our natural products and such. And so they need to build specific buildings for that. So they built some buildings for collecting the for the collection, for everything. Do you think that because of that, our historical knowledge about preservation of buildings, like in Aceh, of course, we know that Rumoh Aceh is very, sustainable. Yeah? Do you think because of what colonial brings here, we lost our historical knowledge?
Okay, yeah. Talking about colonization, colonization always come with the extraction of profits. Yeah, that's the idea of colonization. If you ask, is it because of colonization we lost our culture? In some part, yes. For example, a lot of cultural development just stopped during the colonization, because like we busy with war and and everything. But colonization at the same time also bring other ideas and that we adopt. For example, if you see buildings in Banda Aceh, most of them are product of colonization, but actually they are not pure colonial, because in the early time Dutch come to Indonesia, they bring their utopian ideas of European cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, Leiden, Groningen, and things like that. And then they failed to adapt with tropical climate, and that's why in the past in Batavia a lot of example of malaria and things like that, because the imagination of that city with the river, things like that didn't work well. That's why I think if answer the former question, one of the way like current generation can do with Nilam and the development, one of the way is like try to find what the benefits of this substance. Might be others that not explore, especially if we can do that and can apply that to preserving Rumah Aceh, for example, because at the moment no such sustainable chemicals we can use and save for our environment and for inhabitants. That's why there is such a big gap. Even like in my field, we still cannot find the replacement of wood, for example, and how like to preserve wood from termite and things like that. That's why still like the gap is still open in that way, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Chudewi. So I think to add more answers to Mutiara, we have a lot of things that can be done. So you don't have to worry. You can always contribute to any aspects. Okay? Yeah. So any more questions from the floor? Please, Dr. Ratna. Committee, please give the. Please we use the microphone, Dr. Ratna, so you don't have to strain your voice.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. I'm Ratna from IRC, as well as Accounting Department of Universitas Syah Kuala. I have question for all the speakers, if I'm allowed to do so. The first question is for Giom as well as Bapak Johari. When we talk about sustainability, it's kind of like there is a trade-off between profit, environment, social, right? So for the small-scale farmers, when they are faced with choosing profitable and economic stewardship or social stewardship, which one should they prioritize first? You know, because sometimes they are facing the challenges when they have to be prioritizing environment stewardship, they may have to forego certain portion of profit. So what is your say about this, a kind of dilemma, yeah? We would like to hear from Pak Johari and Pak Giom as well, because he was a CFO. And to Prof. Chudewi, it's very interesting to look into heritage study and connecting it with essential oil. As far as your literature review so far, is there any experience of other country with a similar utilization of essential oils such as patchouli? Thank you so much, moderator and all the speakers.
Thank you. This is a very, the question was easy, the answer is difficult, so that's the problem. And being an ILO staff, I have to probably say social is the most important thing, but I think it really depends on the context. But we also realize the fact that for smallholder farmers, perhaps economic viability is the first consideration, right? So I would say, while we shouldn't ignore the other two, social and environment, perhaps the entry point should be from economic consideration, but gradually build on the other two pillars. So they're not lagging behind and not too late to intervene. I think obviously this is something that's easier said than done, because in reality then sometimes you have to make difficult choices. And that's just the reality of life. But in the context of small farmers, oftentimes, and perhaps in most situation, economic consideration is the first the factor that people look at. And I think that's something that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that how you build on that to generate the appetite, the willingness to practice good agriculture, farming, sustainable farming that actually stewarding the environment and promoting social equity among the communities. So I think that's my point. I'm trying to be diplomatic, but hopefully I answer your question. Thank you so much.
I think, Giom, you can answer Dr. Ratna's question, which one should a small farmer choose?
once again, I concur with what Badra has said. It's a key question, and it's a challenging question. Now let me tell you, let me be politically incorrect. In the business community, and the point made by Badra, in the world, most cities, including myself, we will prioritize profit. I want to have a cheaper product. I want to have a product which is in my desk. I don't want to, if I have to make a trade-off between environment and what I need, or the cost, as a human being, I will choose what I need and I choose the cost. That's a fact. We may not like it, but that's a fact. So how can we do, what can we do in order to address that? We have to address the business community, not in terms of good or bad, but in terms of risk. Patchouli is a good example. Okay, so patchouli, because of global warming, the harvest of patchouli, the producer of patchouli, will see their production being affected. This is a problem of coffee or cocoa. Because of global warming, there is less cocoa, therefore the price goes up. So we can sell to the investors a way to say invest in patchouli, because there is a risk, which is not only a risk, the fact that output supply will be disrupted. If you know that in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, there is a risk that the supply will decrease, the price will go up. So that's a good time to invest. The other thing is that what you can say for certain commodities, those commodities are produced in countries that are volatile, not very stable in terms of politics. What happens if there is a war? Well, the price cuts off. So you can come to the business community, to the investors, with a risk analysis provided by this coalition of talent, business people, and it's a way to attract investment. So let's not put the thing of good or bad, because myself I do things that are not always good. Let's put in the thing is it profitable for you for the long term or not? And find investors that are willing to invest in the long term. That's a way to address it.
Thank you, Guillaume. So I think the question, is it okay, Mr. Okay, Dr. Ratna said the answer meets her curiosity, right? Her needs. Okay. So next question to Professor Chudewi, please, Professor Chudewi.
Thank you for the question, Ibu Ratna. As I mentioned, Italy is like the highest country use essential oils for building protection. Even in the regulation, they require some use of natural substance like from essential oil for building conservation. And also they also give like promotion and incentive for industry that develop and promote essential oils. That's why, and others, Egypt and Romania. So I think that's also opportunity for us to look on that kind of development now in our research center. Although for patchouli specifically, based on my literature review, still not so okay for using in the building conservation. Need still more research on how like patchouli waste, especially or oil can be used. I think oil is so expensive if we use in building protection, because building is big, not like our face, very tiny. We can put that in cosmetics and that increase anti-aging, yeah. But if you use that in the whole building like this, how many liter of patchouli oil do you need? So that's why, no. Yeah, and economic and environment, we need to think about that. So that's why I think most countries try to find what part of these natural resources, because in the past, like I show you, even like the leaf of neem tree that's used for preservation of manuscript. So even the leaf. So that's why I'm sure there is something there that no one have looked at that we can look at that. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think it's similar to what in South India use like lime and mud, and we have to use fibers also that maybe waste off from Nilam, from Pacholi can be used as the fiber. Yeah, same something like that. Okay, any more questions from the floor? Yes, please, miss. Oh, there are two questions from the front. The microphone can be handed over. Ada mikrofonnya? Itu. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunities. My name is Zia Hazira. I'm one of the students from Industrial Engineering in University of Syah Kuala. Okay, maybe these questions I really would love to ask Mr. Jauhari and Mrs. Chudewi to answer the questions. And actually, thank you very much for the insightful explanations about Nilam in Aceh. Okay, actually, I'm really interested in the topic of Nilam, but also I understand that there are still so many problems in the local farmers about Nilam market recently. And so, since our farmers' problem currently still circling around the quality of the yields of the Pacholi itself, right? So somehow, the yields that is resulted by the farmers wasn't evenly good. So is there any conducted strategies to empower Pacholi farmers, like standardizing Pacholi farming operation directly to the farmers to balance the quality and maximizing their yield results? Or is it already included in the ERP system that Mr. Jauhari already mentioned before? And also, I'm really interested in this mass capacity building that you've mentioned. And maybe if you have time, you can elaborate more about that. Thank you.
Shall we take the other one or just respond first? Okay. Thank you so much for the questions. I think perhaps the second one is easier for me to answer directly. So let me start with the one. In terms of the empowerment that you were asking, what I meant was we actually doing trainings. So we build capacity of local trainers. So our approach has been like, we train local trainers, which in turn will train the farmers. So with that, we hope that there will be sustainability of the knowledge, the application, the use of the training models on skills that we teach to the local trainers. What kind of training are we providing? We have several models, and I think Pak Yanis, who's sitting at the back, is our focal point for trainings. So if you'd like to know more about, what kind of trainings have been provided to farmers, or maybe there is a new skills that is required by farmers and we haven't provided the training, we would be happy to consider developing these new trainings. And we would love to involve students here, researchers, to participate in the trainings, because the more the merrier for us. It's better to have more people aware of this and support local farmers, our farmers in Pacholi. The first one is whether ERP actually can support the improvement of, I would say, perhaps the production yield, right? The answer is perhaps yes and no. Yes, meaning the data that actually produced by the ERP would enable the users, in this case the off-takers, Green in this case, to get some knowledge about what kind of productivity that each farmer actually has, right? And the ERP can trace the location of the farmers, and some input actually can be also measured, right, Pak Thomas? But it will not give us the knowledge about whether the farmers has or has not practiced good agriculture practices. And perhaps that's something that Pak Saifullah Muhammad and the team actually complement that. Or that should be the initial prerequisite for the farmers to meet certain standard. So to me, ERP is a useful tool, but it's not the panacea for all issues related to the yield. So it helps, but it will not help solve all the problems. I hope I answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Building
okay.
preservation.
Okay, in terms of like sustainable building preservation, I think always like playing with the three pillars as well, economic, environment, and culture as well. So we need to balance the three of that. That's why in architecture, we know like green building, the term, and sustainable building, where the green building are normally like, we don't care about other aspects. We only care about environment. While when we talk about sustainability in the building, we need to see all these three aspects work together. So not only we care about environment, but also we see the economic aspect of what we are doing, I think. So I think a lot of now people look at what I learned about capitalism, especially, a lot of things measure based on economic values. We forget that if we do something doesn't have economic value for now, but actually that impacted our future. For example, like if we keep using unsustainable materials, at the time it's like expensive, but if we keep doing that, we actually save a lot of things in the future that I think more how you say calculation and cost-benefit analysis on what is sustainability should be encouraged more on looking at including plantation, including building conservation. I think the balance of the three, and not only the cost from now, the economic value from now, but also for the future. We need also to look at the future, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think it's about what can we give to our future generation, right? Yeah. What can we leave for our future generation?
Benefit is not only about money.
Because the benefit is not only about money, but a lot of things, right? Not just about money, not just about productivity, actually. So last chance for the miss in the back. Okay, please hand over the microphone.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Intan Selian. I'm a university student in Universitas Syah Kuala, majoring English education. Actually, I don't really know about partially what is partially, but I know, for example, like 6 years ago, I got the information about partially just at glance. And then 3 years ago, I have a friend whose father farming partially in Aceh Tamiang, and it made me interested in what is partially. And nowadays, recently, one of my uncle asked me about the investment. So he asking me about what can we invest in Aceh. And I just recall about the partially, and I want to be connected to what is partially and how to invest in this sector. And my question is about is there any way to invest in partially oil, since we don't know many things about partially, but we're interested in learning partially oil. That's my first question. And the second question is about the applications. Like you show us about the application, is that application open publicly or privately? Is there a way to invest, the investor could invest by application like in Bibit or Bareksa, something like that? Is it open publicly for the application for the investor? And then the third question, how big is the prospect for partially oil to be market in as the investor's eyes? So that's my question. I think. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I think for your questions, I will hand over the session to Pak Saifullah because because he has more knowledge about that, especially in Aceh. Yeah. So Pak Saifullah, please answer the questions.
But I forgot the question. So about investment, right? So I think there is the bigger opportunity for investment in Pacholi because for 1 hectare you will get the money around 200 juta per hectare. So you can come to my office. Actually, you can discuss what type of your land and how big the land and how much your money you have, yeah. And then we will support the technology and we can support the community development in your area in Tamyang. And also if your land in the Tamyang, I will ask my friend in Tamyang to support your business there. And then after you plan the Pacholi, if you don't have the buyer, then you can connect me also. I will connect to PT Ugreen. You can use My Nilam. Yeah, you can use the application, put your name inside, and then the buyer will buy your Pacholi. So there is a biggest opportunity. And on the other hand, if you would like to advance your business, for example, derivative product of the Pacholi, then you can enter to innovation product of the Pacholi. You can create the perfume, you can skincare product and many others product, and it can produce by your name. So I will connect you to Koperasi Inovasi Nilam Aceh. Is Nadia here or no? She was here. You can connect to Nadia and mention what kind of the brand that you like, and then you can do the business. So first time, if you would like to invest in Pacholi, find the land, and is there another, any people to do plantation in the area, and then you can connect me. I will send you the expert from ARC to support the technology in plantation, seeding, refinery process until buyer process. So don't worry about that. That is one of our task for the community. Thank you very much. Kok saya yang jawab?
Why I hand over the session to Pak Saifullah, because I want to emphasize that please come to ARC. Yeah. So you can consult with us in ARC, especially with Pak Saifullah, because ARC has developed the ecosystem for Pacholi plantation. So you can come to ARC. The building is it is in training center building. It was training center building on the corner of the Jalan Teku Sheikh Abdul Rauf, yeah. So you can come there and make appointment with Pak Saifullah. So you can discuss about the investment that your uncle asked about. But I want to ask Mr. Jauhari also, what about the ERP? Can be accessed with can public access the ERP system?
Yes, thank you so much. There's a lot of interest on Nilam, Saifullah. So perhaps as you should open a promotion office in. At the university. So ERP is the system, basically it's not new. I mean, many corporations have used ERP in different forms, in different format. So this application is useful for recording transaction in business transaction in a value chain ecosystem, or supply chain if you want to call it. So for instance, if you or your family already invested in Nilam, in Pacholi, and currently serving or operating as the buyer of takers, and you have farmers as your suppliers, so you could use My Nilam to record all the transaction between your company as off-taker and the farmers, digitally. So that will help improve productivity, monitor the productions, provide traceability, as I explained earlier. So it's not for trading Pacholi per se, but it's a system to improve productivity, record business process, and it's free. I presume it's free, but I mean, we create it and we give it to ARC, and I'm sure it will be free if you have the ecosystem and you think that will be helpful for your ecosystem to be more productive, to enable you to monitor the production and the yield of your farmers, of your partners, your suppliers, then obviously it's part of our mandate to reach out as many as possible in terms of the usage of this Nilam. So I hope that's answer your questions and clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Jauhari. So I think we have to come to an end of our session. Yeah, thank you for all your participations in the discussion. We have a very interesting discussion session, and I'd like to thank our keynote speakers, Mr. Giom Jes, and then Mr. Johari Sitorus, and then Professor Chut Dewi for very informative and useful topics. And we look forward to seeing you at our next event. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mutia Faradila, for guiding us through the keynote sessions. And we are very thankful for, and I think we all agree that this evening discussion is very fruitful one. I would like to remind you that we have the agenda for tomorrow as well. Invited speakers will be held tomorrow at this very place as well. So it will begin at 8:45 a.m. in the morning. So everyone, if you have a free time, please come and join us on site. And also we welcome you online as well.